So here we're going to show you how to add a blog post to the blog. Um, this is a pretty straightforward process through the admin panel, but I want to kind of go through start to finish on how everything kind of renders across the screen. So if we click on this blog entry, you'll see that it gives the default blog data, if you will. It's got latest articles here that are swipeable. And it has the text that's in the article, some tags that can be clicked on, a reply, all basic stuff. So the way we do this is we log in, and then over here you're going to see Blog Manager. Let's go ahead and click on Blog Manager, and here you'll see the actual posts. And obviously from here you can go ahead and edit an existing blog by clicking the green edit icon, or you can delete a blog post by clicking the red X. But here what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the blue button up here. We're going to hit Add New Article. And from here we're going to start giving it the information. So let me go over this real quick. I want to use this blog post as an example on the old WordPress blog. So basically what I'm going to do in this post is just copy the content that we already have existing. So the first thing I'm going to do is save this image to my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and copy some of this text here. So this is the title of the actual blog post. Let's go ahead and go into the title, and let's go ahead and put that there. The category by default is going to be blog. If you want to add different categories to the blog, by all means you can do that. Article slug. This is going to be the URL of the actual article. So if we look back at this blog post, you'll notice the URL matches the title. And this is really important in SEO. So what you want to do is copy this and also place it here as the article slug. The anchor image is going to be the actual image we're going to use. We just saved this image here. So let's go ahead and use the top 5 image. Image caption, I'm also going to make the title. So basically we want the title, the slug, and the caption all to match. We want to show the date created. The comments, if there are any, you can choose to turn this on or off. You want to show the author of the article. Show the like button on the article. Ratings, and sharing icons. So basically all these are selected yes by default, but you do have the option to turn those off. What all of this basically is are the ratings, the like button, your tags, and your author. So going back to the actual blog post, the start date is when the article is going to begin appearing on the website. So the website has the capability of stalling an article publish date. So if you want this article to show up immediately, the server, depending on the server that GoDaddy has us on at said time of week or month, is going to depend. If we're on a New York server, it's going to be the same time. If we're on a Denver server, mountain server, or if we're in on the West Coast, the time is going to be delayed. So what I always like to do is just backdate my article a day, and then give it a start time. I like to keep the start time right around noon. And if you want the article to disappear off of the blog, you would just certainly set a article expiry date and an article expiry time. These are set to 0 by default, meaning they will stay on as long as you want it to. The layout of the article by default is left justified image. So basically this layout right here says the image is assigned to the left, which is right here. So we want to maintain the same look and feel, so leave that alone. But if you can change it, this would be similar. This option would be similar to how this layout is here. So from here we're going to give it some tags. So the article is Killer Pitfalls of Automation Framework. So right now let's just type in and any other tags that you want to add to it. I would say keep your tags at 20 or less. Separate them with commas and a space. Now let's get into the actual article content. So if we look at the actual article, I'm going to copy here to here. And now what I'm going to do this is formatted text. So if we go ahead and just simply come into the article and we drop it in, it's going to make it all kind of weird and missized, because this is a what you see is what you get editor, similar to Word. So what I'll do is I'll open up WordPad and I'll dump all that text into WordPad or Notepad. And what Notepad will do, similar to WordPad or similar to any rich text or similar to any just plain text editor, is it'll strip out all of the formatting associated with the actual text. So once I've dumped it into there, I'll copy it, and now I'll paste it into the article. And now you'll notice that the font and text looks normal, but it adds a couple of extra spaces. And this is usually only something you're going to have to do if you're copying content from somewhere else, or you're maybe taking some content that's been written maybe in Word and you want to go ahead and make it a blog post. Always strip the content first before you put it into the blog. So what I'm going to do is just simply click on these empty, they're called divs. So I'm going to click on these divs and delete them. I'm just hitting the backspace button. And this is just basically tightening up the actual article. And let's go back and look at what's bold and what's not bold. So I'll look at looks like the smaller headlines are going to be bold. So that's simple. We'll just go into the actual text editor, highlight what we need to make bold. And maybe we'll make this italic. Now that we have the main bulk of the content written, let's look at what's going to appear when they first see the excerpt. So this is the important bit of text called the short description that's going to load up, and you have control over showing what this is. So let's go into the article, and let's say we want the first this much text showing at first. Simply go in there and paste it into here. Now I was able to paste it directly from the blog into the back end, because you'll notice that this text area is much different than this one. This is not a rich text editor, and this one is. So this one will simply strip out all of the applicable formatting that's associated with it. So that's the difference between this text editor and that text editor. We're going to say that it's published, yes. Now here's where we can control some of our SEO. So the meta keywords should match your tags. You want to match your meta keywords to your tags. Now, while all search engines don't use meta keywords, some still do, and some will still use it as a cross-referencing checkpoint on certain times of year to see if you're keeping up with the proper W3C practices. So it's always a good practice to add your meta keywords in where you can. Your meta description you want to make sure matches your short description, but you only want to keep it 165 characters or less. So find a good sentence that would make sense to a user and place that here. This is how Google will render this blog post. You're going to hit Add Article, and you're going to get the success message. So to test it, let's go back to our blog and hit refresh. And now you'll see that new blog post appears, and it also goes into the latest articles. Now this widget can be added to any page you want on the website. So let's first check our article. Here's our image that we decided to use. Here's all of our text. Here's our bold text and our regular text. Ratings, sharing icons. Here are the tags, and I'll actually make those not white so they show up. Here's everything that we want. Here's their comments if someone wants to leave a comment. Everything is loaded up. Really simple. So let's just pay one more attention to the widget on the side. This is pretty helpful. So if someone was, say, on the Application Lifecycle Management Quality Center page, and maybe we wanted those latest articles over here to show up only on this page, we'll simply go into where it says Layout. We will find that page, which is the application. Actually, what page was that? That was Application Lifecycle Management Solution. So let's go ahead to let's find the Application Lifecycle Management Solution page. And you'll see where it says Right section. This is the layout of the page. So on the right section, I'm going to double click. And let's find the latest articles widget. And there's a few in here, so just a second. Latest articles is right here. Close that. You don't need to hit save. go back over to your page and hit refresh, and now your latest articles will show up on a particular page. So this is really useful too if you're maybe building out a couple of extra pages and you maybe want those 5 specialized pages to show maybe some blog posts that are going to be in that content. So hopefully this is helpful. Again, you can always refer to the admin panel here, where as I'm making these videos, I'll make sure that as soon as you log in, you're able to see the videos that correspond to the necessary edits that you're looking to do, in hopes that this actually guides you along in a useful manner. So I'll go on and make the next video for you here.